fans, yes, you're in the right place. Happy New Year to you and your families. You're watching FanDuel TV's More Ways to Win. It is week 17. Unbelievable. It is the NFL season. Teams are fighting for playoff positioning here. We're going to break it all down for you. So much to get to. We've got the biggest games on the schedule. We're handing out our experts' best bets of the week. Of course, dropping DFS best value plays as well. Thanks for hanging with us. I'm Lisa Kerney, hanging out with you here from the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. And our team is spread out all over the country. Hello, crew. You know the team. Sports betting expert Dave Weaver, former NFL wideout and Super Bowl champion. We got James Jones. We've got sports talk radio host Andrew Fillipponi and the face of Marquee Sports Network, Cole Wright. Hello, everybody. You guys, we have so much to get to here in Week 17. Let's kick this thing off. More Ways to Win starts now. I told you we got a lot of fighting to do here in this week 17. We're going to focus on the fight for the number one seed for each conference. We're going to start with a huge AFC matchup in front of us. We got the 12-3 Bills at the 11-4 Bengals. These two teams have combined to win 13 games in a row. The Bills currently the top seed, so win out. They lock up that home field advantage and first round bye in the playoffs. For the Bengals, they're the third seed currently. They can still move up to that number one spot with some help. A little bit of time left, guys. Dave, Pony, James, this monster matchup is our Monday Night Football game. The Bills are 1.5-point favorites. Happy New Year to all of you. And Dave, coming right to you to bet it first. What you got?
Well, I can only imagine the gifts that Pony lavished Amanda with over the holidays with the money that he's made this year betting the Cincinnati Bengals. Pony, they're 12-1 against the spread their last 13 games. You've been talking all year. You've been betting Joe Burrow for MVP. You've been talking about the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. If you don't pick the Bengals in the spot, it would really surprise me. Look, Joe Burrow really excels when he's in these games against great teams. He's 16-4 against the spread in his career against a team with a winning record. You know what Josh Allen is? 16-1. So 2 games above 500. The Bills themselves only 1-4 against the spread the last 5 games against good teams. And Cincinnati is really a great team this year. Joe Burrow is in the zone, and we're getting points at home, Pony. I don't know. If you went the other way, it really would shock me.
We weren't supposed to talk about all the money that I made on the Bengals because now my wife is looking at what I got her for Christmas and wondering why wasn't there more? So thank you for that, Dave. You've outed me to start today's show. No, I actually like the Bills. And the reason why I like Buffalo here is the urgency that they're placing on this game. We've already seen Cincinnati last year start the wild card weekend at home and then have to play the divisional round and AFC Championship game at Arrowhead. And I just think we've seen Buffalo in this spot already a couple of times this year. They went to Kansas City. They were favored. They won the game outright. First game of the year when we thought the Rams were good, when they were healthy, they were on the road, they were favored. They covered. We look at the weather conditions in Buffalo. We know what a tremendous home field advantage it is for them. I just think they're putting more eggs in this basket. And from an X's and O's standpoint, James, the one Achilles heel for the two teams is Cincinnati's pass defense, which is 21st. And I expect Josh Allen to expose that somewhat in this game.
Man, I hear both you guys, but for me, it's so hard for me to go against Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow, to be honest with you, I don't like comparing nobody, and I definitely don't like comparing nobody to Tom Brady. But when you talk about a leader of men, a guy that gets people to fight and play extremely hard and gives them the confidence that they can win every single ball game. Since Joe Burrow has hit Cincinnati, that is what he has brought to this ball club. The ability when he walks out there, everybody feels like we are going to win the game and get to the Super Bowl. That is the Joe Burrow effect. That is the Tom Brady effect. And that's what Joe Burrow brings. I like Cincinnati Bengals in this game. They have too many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. I don't see how Buffalo slows them down, even though it's going to be cold and chilly, maybe some snow and all that good stuff. They coming from a little bit of cold weather as well. I like JoJo Burrow in this one to beat Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
JoJo getting those points at home right now, 1.5. This line might move, guys. I don't know about that. All right, let's get to another AFC team in the mix here for that top spot. We've got the Chiefs, my Chiefs, Kansas City, 12-3, and in that 2 spot right now with the league's top overall offense. They're hosting the 4-11 Broncos, who fired Nathaniel Hackett this week. Jerry Rossberg now steps in. He was a special assistant who was brought in to help with clock management. He is now the interim head coach there for Denver. Guys, we didn't even mention their quarterback situation and complete inability to score up against the number 1 offense here in the league. The Broncos are a mess. They now get these Chiefs, who are giving 12.5 points to their division rival. Dave, coming right back to you for your pick.
Hey, maybe it's a good thing that they're playing the Chiefs, because it was only 3 weeks ago in week number 14 that they scored 28 points against the Chiefs. Russell Wilson had 3 touchdowns in that game. I think everybody has a short-term memory, and they're only thinking of that Christmas Day debacle against the Rams, which was terrible. But if you put a line through that and look what they did against the Chiefs in week 14, they covered. And Patrick Mahomes is 7-12-1 against the spread when he's favored by double digits. So this is a spot where I am not willing to lay the points. And as Chad Millman says, sometimes you just got to hold your nose. This is one of what he would say is a stinky pick with the Broncos, but I'm gonna do that, and we'll see if Chad does that later in the show. But I think the Broncos are the play.
Well, Dave's eggnog clearly spiked with haterade this time of year, because Denver, they're less reliable than a directional airline right now. Now, I made it clear weeks ago after that kitchen and outfit fiasco that I was never going to go with a Russell Wilson-led team ever again. So my apologies to Denver and their 5th-ranked defense, because that Nathaniel Hackett firing clearly lingering. Now, me picking against Denver has more to do with KC than my distrust of Russ and his lack of timing offense. Now, Patrick Mahomes, not only does he lead the league in passing yards and touchdowns, but he's amassed more yards with fewer attempts than Herbert, Brady, and Cousins. Make a note of that, because the Chiefs, they're looking for more than a 6-point win. That was the Week 14 result, as Dave clearly brought up. Now, Mahomes, he's also looking for 3 less picks. That's right, because he had 3 last time around. And as winners of 8 of the last 9, the squad clearly shifting into playoff mode. I think it's going to make it 9 out of 10. Kansas City, Lisa, you're going to be smiling here. They're going to get the win here. They're rolling 35-17. Book it.
Yeah, Cole, I agree with you. I think Dave does have some type of little juicy juice in that eggnog, because he is tripping. This is going to be a absolute beatdown by the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs by 100 in this game right here. I mean, the Denver Broncos, number 1, they tanking it. Everybody getting ready for Cabo. I mean, Russell Wilson has gotten Coach Hackett fired. The way that he's been playing football, I mean, you see guys jumping up and down on the football field. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, I'm right here, throw me the ball. That's not on the coach. That is on the quarterback. But we all know you get a quarterback that much money, he's not going nowhere. Somebody got to be the scapegoat. It was the coach. But Russell Wilson is playing extremely bad football. This offense is playing extremely bad football. It is in Kansas City. They are in big trouble. This is going to be a beatdown. I see Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, all the starters, they will have slippers on in the 3rd quarter, because this is going to be a beatdown.
Slippers.
The coined phrase beatdown, man, absolutely. They could not be catching each other at worse times, right? The Broncos completely lost. No head coach, no quarterback for that matter. And then the Chiefs, who, to Cole's point, are absolutely shifting into playoff mode and really want to clinch that number 1 spot. It's going to be a blowout in Kansas City. You're welcome. Go ahead and bet it now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And we're going to shift our focus to the top playoff spot for the NFC here. The 13-2 Eagles hosting the 6-9 Saints. Philly needs just 1 win, guys, 1 more win to to clinch the #1 seed in the NFC and earn that first-round playoff bye, and, of course, home field advantage to go with it. It's important to give Jalen Hurts time to rest his sprained shoulder there. Right now, Gardner Minshew is expected to start again this week. Guys, Minshew really played pretty well through 2 interceptions, lost that 1 fumble in the loss to Dallas last week, but he gave his team a chance to win. Philly in this one is a 5.5-point favorite. Pony, which side do you like here?
I love that plus 215 on New Orleans at the bottom of the screen. I think they're going to go in there and win the game. As you know, provided this isn't a Jalen Hurts Superman moment where he goes out there and he plays like the guy who we've bet on consistently this year to win the MVP. But I think there's a lot to like about New Orleans. Look at that stat there, that bullet point number 1 on the screen right now. This defense has played out of its mind, holding teams under 20 points in 6 straight games. Oh no, well, they're playing the Eagles. Well, go look up Gardner Minshew's win-loss record as a quarterback in his career. He does exactly what Lisa says. He gives his team a chance to win, but he almost never wins. And the other X factor here, Dave, is Lane Johnson is out for this game. And I typically do not put a lot of stock in offensive line injuries, but the Eagles are all about their line. And we're talking about an offensive tackle that has not given up a sack since 2020. So no franchise quarterback, no offensive tackle who said, sorry, Cole, I thought I was talking to Dave and his giant water at home. No, I'm telling you, I like the Saints to cover this spread and maybe win the game.
Okay, well, it all does start up front, so we'll see how things materialize there. But despite the last week's setback to Dallas, Philly, this is a team that they put points on the board. You brought up that Saints defense. We'll get to that in a second. But 20 points or more in every game but 1 for Philadelphia, and 24 plus 11 times. But their kryptonite has been members of the NFC East. Both losses, of course, coming to Washington and Dallas. And the Saints, on the other side of the coin, they've had their own divisional struggles because their only wins in division play, Saints fans love this one, coming versus the Falcons. Now, who dat nation, they would love to see that 9th-ranked defense go out there and smack around Philly's top 5 offense. But, Pony, I hate to break your heart this holiday season, man. I don't see that going down. Eagles, I see them cruising to the win. It's going to be a big one, 31-21.
Come on, back me up, James. You got my back, James. I know you do, brother.
Don't do it.
I got your back on this one. I got your back on this one, Pony, because I agree. And the reason why I agree and I like the Saints in this ball game is because I do not like how the Eagles look on the offensive side of the ball, even when Jalen Hurts was in the game. And it's not just about scoring. They have been consistent at turning the football over. And if you are going to turn the football over in December football, when it's really time to buckle down and play consistent football, you are not going to win a lot of games. I don't care who you playing. I don't care what the other team's record is, if it's a losing record, winning record. If you're going to turn the football over, you're not going to win a lot of football games. And the last 5 games that the Eagles have took the field, they have been turning the football over. And then I'm watching the Dallas game last weekend, and I'm like, okay, Gardner Minshew going out there, I still like the Eagles because this defense travels. And this defense, you see miscommunications all over the field. You see explosive plays all over the field. I just think the Eagles are trending the wrong way at the wrong time. And I think the Saints are going to come in there. They got a couple injuries on the Eagles side of the ball. I think they're going to come in there, keep this thing close. And I think they win this thing outright with Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan making some big-time plays.
Not even that segment yet.
I mean, the Saints getting a lot of points, right? Yeah, they're good. All right, you guys, great stuff by all of you. Of course, you at home can bet those games right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And a reminder, you can get up to $1,000 back if you don't win your first bet. It's the no sweat bet, up to $1,000. Yes, you. Now, here's how it works. New users, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up for your new account using that promo code right there on your screen. More ways, 1,000 after you sign up. Just place your first bet with us. Whatever you want, up to $1,000. If you don't win, you'll automatically get your stake back in free bets. It's that easy. So download the app, sign up using that promo code MOREWAYS1000, and play today. And we're just getting started here on More Ways to Win. Coming up, 2 dogs and 2 favorites that are the best value bets of the week. That's ahead. Plus, Dave is cooking up an 8-leg parlay to help you turn a small bet into a big winner. That's all ahead. He's revealing it next. Stay with us. And we're rolling on here on More Ways to Win. Again, thanks for hanging with us here in Week 17 as we get you ready. In every matchup, there is an underdog and a favorite. But how do you know which side to bet and why? Well, the answer, of course, is both. You just need to tap into some really smart experts who are going to tell you where the value is on the board. So we're going to do that right now. Got to get our experts in here. Let's fire up our traveling circus, as I like to call it, as we roll out this week's Dog and Pony Show. Hey, guys. As we do every single week, Pony is playing the role of Pony. And our special guest, Chad Millman, will be bringing the dogs. As always great having Chad with us. Chief Content Officer of the Action Network. All right, you guys, let's get right to it. Pony, you went 2-0 last week in this segment. Give us your first favorite of Week 17. What you got?
Yeah, when you bet, you have to sometimes, if you're going to win at this stuff, ignore narratives. And one big one this week is going to be, Geno Smith is finally going to write back the Jets. He's going to get revenge on that organization that quit on him a decade ago. Have you seen the Seahawks offense? Only 10 points against a below-average Chiefs defense last week, going out there with no shirts on in the cold, did not help their wide receivers. And here comes the Jets defense, top 5 in the league this year. And the morale of that team completely changes when Zach Wilson goes to the bench and Mike White goes in, who shockingly has played good football as a guy that started the year as a third-string quarterback. The Jets win this game, they'll have their playoff fates right there for them. Everything will be on the table because they played the Dolphins in Week 18. I'm predicting New York to go to Seattle and win this weekend.
All right, Chad, you're up. Give me an underdog that you like here in Week 17.
Well, look, I don't want to mush Pony, but I completely agree with him about the Jets. I'm also going to say that I like the Texans at +4.5 at home against the Jags. And it's an old wise guy trick. If you cover up the names of the teams and you just look at the numbers and who's at home and who's away, you're going to see that more often than not, they're going to want to play the team that is an underdog of more than a field goal at home when it's in the division. So that's what we're getting here. We're getting 1.5 points of value, a lot of wise guys would say, on the Texans. And secondarily, you can see what the market is doing right now. Oftentimes, betting tickets, when you have more betting tickets on one side than the other, that's an indication of what the public, the non-professional bettors are doing. The money is coming in on the Texans right now. That's what the professional bettors are doing. And finally, you got to remember, the only game that matters for the Jags the rest of the year is what they do in Week 18 against the Titans. If they win that game, they're in the playoffs. So there could be some scenarios here where they pull back, they don't open up the entire playbook, they might rest some guys, whereas the Texans, we've seen the last few weeks how they've played. They've beaten teams, they played the Cowboys close, they made the Chiefs close. This is an opportunity for them to continue the momentum. Give me the Texans at +4.5.
Yep, I like where your money's at. All right, we'll get back to you for your second one, Chad. Pony, give me your second favorite here in Week 17.
Yeah, Hart wants the Steelers in this game, obviously, but the head says go with the Ravens in this spot. You look at the line out at the bottom of the screen, it's come under 3 points. That is a big deal because this rivalry has been defined by field goal wins. We've already seen Baltimore come into Pittsburgh this year and win with Tyler Huntley. He's set to start again. Huntley actually got injured in that game, and they had to go with a practice squad quarterback named Anthony Brown to secure victory. The Ravens rushed the ball for over 200 yards against the Steelers that day. That Ravens rushing attack with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards has been a kryptonite for the Steelers defense. They're coming off an emotional game Saturday night against the Raiders. Now they got to come back for a physical fight against the Ravens on the road. I don't know. I think it's a really tough spot for the Steelers, asking a lot out of them after stopping the Panthers and Raiders in consecutive weeks. I like Baltimore to win by more than 2.
Woo! I know it's hard to go against your Steelers in this spot. All right, I know. And for you to do it is actually saying a lot. Chad, give me another dog that you like here.
All right, listen, I'm kind of riding Pony's coattails. I heard him earlier in the show talking about liking the Saints on the money line against the Eagles. I don't know if I have that much courage, but I do like the Saints at +6 against the Eagles, even at +5.5. That's where the number is headed. You can still, if you get it at 5.5, that's fine. Gardner Minshew starting, Lane Johnson out. Lane Johnson has been the key for that offensive line that has helped the Eagles dominate offensively all year long. Andy Dalton has been really good against zone coverage. The Eagles majority play zone coverage. Also, don't discount the fact that Avonte Maddox will be out. We saw last week against the Cowboys when he went out, the game changed for the Cowboys. They got much more aggressive offensively. There were a lot more opportunities in the middle of the field with Avonte Maddox being out. Jordan Davis also with the concussion likely out. That's not great for what was already a mediocre Eagles running game against the Saints team that likes to run the ball. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here for the Saints and a really, really good defense to keep the game close against the Eagles.
If there's any week to take those points from the Eagles, it sounds like this is the week to do it. All right, let's get a recap of your picks, you guys. Pony, quick recap of your two favorites. You like the Jets giving the points to the Seahawks, and you like the Ravens giving the points to the Steelers. Chad, quick look here at your dogs. You're taking the Texans and the Saints, both getting the points here. Awesome stuff, you guys. You can bet these dogs and favorites right now, of course, on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Don't forget to plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000 if you're new to the FanDuel family. And you can get more of Chad's insights by listening to the Favorites podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And also make sure to download the Action Network app for expert picks, live scores, stats, all the business, and more, Chad. Thanks, you guys. All right, let's keep it trucking here and get to our next segment because it is time to turn a little bet into a big win. It's America's favorite new segment, Dave's Big Payday Parlay. I just like to say it that way. Dave, you're going to try and turn $20 into thousands of dollars for us here just in week 17. You're going to give us an 8-legger. When you look at the matchups here this week, who do you like? What are you putting together? What you got?
It's a little bit of a split of some favorites and some underdogs. So no spreads involved here, all money line picks. We're going to start with the Carolina Panthers being able to beat the Bucs like they did last, it was, I think, week 7. So with the win here, they keep their division hopes alive and they win out. They're going to win the NFC South. So this is a big win for them when they beat the Bucs. Game number 2. Carson Wentz is starting for Washington, right? Okay, then I'll take Cleveland. That's as simple as that. Cleveland, a very slight underdog on the road at Washington. The $20 is now up to about $100 after just 2 games. Game number 3, I'm against these guys that think that the Saints are going to go and beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia still has a ton at stake here. They need to win here to get that number 1 seed. I think they do that against the Saints. So now we're up to $137. Game number 4. The Bears have lost 8 games in a row. Make it 9 in a row when they lose to the Detroit Lions. So those are half of the plays. The next 4, I'm going to go to the Colts. This is my upset of the week. You know, the G-men are going to do G-men things in this game. Lose as a 5.5-point favorite. So this really spikes it up. Now we're up to over $550 for the $20. Next play is the Jets going to Seattle and shutting them down. I think defensively, the Jets are just going to be too strong in that game. 2 teams left. I think the Steelers are going to pull off the upset against the Ravens. Harbaugh has lost 3 games in a row as a home favorite to the Steelers. So Tomlin knows how to go in there and steal some games. And then on Monday night, Joe Burrow is going to help us win $4,567. I love getting alive to the Monday night game and trying to close it out. It's going to be a showdown, right, between Burrow and Allen. So if the Bengals can do it, and I'm 7-7, we're looking at over $4,500, Lisa, for $20.
Yep. It was one heck of a New Year's celebration, Dave. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it. Cheers to you. Cheers to your 8-legger right there. Let's make this happen. Great stuff, Dave. Look at those odds skyrocket, by the way. $20 to almost $5,000. Tail, Dave, or hey, create your own parlay right now and win big on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. All right, let's keep trucking on because you can also get in on the fun with daily fantasy here with FanDuel. One-stop shop right there on your phone. FanDuel has a bunch of DFS contests that are live right now where you can win thousands of dollars on FanDuel.com and, of course, on the FanDuel app. How do you give yourself an edge? Well, you got to find the best value at each position, which is why we're here, which is why you're watching our show. We bring in a ringer each and every week. Jim Sonis is a senior writer and analyst for Number Fire. He's done the research for you. Jim, Get in here. Who are your best value plays for Week 17?
Thanks, Lisa. With so many games on this week's main slate, there are actually a lot of good places to turn for value, and that begins in the game with the highest total of the week. That is in Detroit for the Bears facing off with the Lions, and I love DJ Chark here coming in at $6,000. Chark has had 90-plus receiving yards in 3 of his past 4 games. Now facing a beat-up Bears defense at home indoors, Chark checks a lot of boxes once again for us in DFS. At running back, I like Isaiah Pacheco coming in at $6,300. Pacheco has had 82-plus yards in scrimmage in now 7 consecutive games. So although he hasn't had a big game yet, he has the building blocks for it, an explosive Chiefs offense. They're facing off with the Broncos, who just got beat up by Cam Akers on Christmas Day. So Pacheco, with his salary down to $6,300, is a guy I want to turn to for this week. We'll finish things up in Washington with the Commanders running back Brian Robinson. Robinson is dealing typically with a committee with Antonio Gibson, but Gibson is now banged up, which could open up more snaps for Robinson. Despite playing inside that committee, Robinson has still had 100-plus yards in scrimmage in 3 of his past 4 games. So potentially more snaps here for Robinson, potentially work in the passing game as well against a Browns defense that has struggled to stop the rush. I think Robinson, Lisa, is a really good play here this week at $6,900, regardless of if Gibson can go or not.
Oh, yes, and you know the More Ways to Win crew immediately jumped on a text string talking about that bar cart behind you, Jim. Lit up with Christmas lights and everything. That is amazing. I know you're a good time, Jim. Thank you so much. Set your lineups now at FanDuel.com. Follow Jim on Twitter at Jim Sonis and check out his Covering the Spread podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Awesome stuff. All right, you guys, we are just getting started here on More Ways to Win. Thanks for hanging with us here in Week 17. Coming up next, we're betting 3 matchups that will have huge playoff implications. The Packers, Dolphins, and Bucks all face division rivals as they still have a chance to make the postseason. We're betting and we're breaking it down for you. Plus, we've got our guys handing out their best bets of the week. Who, what, and why? That's ahead right here. Stay with us. Welcome back to More Ways to Win here on FanDuel TV. Happy New Year. Thank you for hanging with us. It is time for our betting experts to take on our player in a betting debate based basically on eye test versus experience. Each of our betting experts will go toe-to-toe with James, 9-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion. Do you have your ring on, James? They're going to state their case, and as always, we're going to settle up next week. And we're focusing on some huge division games here with playoff implications. So this one is a spicy one. Let's get it started with the NFC North. We got the 12-3 Vikings at the 7-8 Packers. Guys, Green Bay has won 3 in a row. Their road to making the playoffs, we know it's complicated. We know that. We've all looked at it. But a win keeps them alive for at least one more week. The Vikings have clinched the division. They have an outside shot there at that number 1 seed in the NFC. So they got more to play for as well. Cole, despite Green Bay having a worse record, the Packers are 3-point favorites here in this matchup. What do you make of that?
Well, James has a Super Bowl ring, and we need to get him a ring light, brighten things up there a little bit. But Aaron Rodgers, he's told us before, relax. 57, 23, and 1 versus the NFC North, and to sweeten the pot since 2007, 16, 11, and 1 versus Minnesota. And the Vikings defense, well, they're not good, plain and simple. 31st in the league, and you combine that with the fact that 11 of their wins have come by 8 points or fewer, and 3 of their last 4 by a combined 11 points. They're going to keep this one close, but it's not going to matter. They're going to fall in this one. Packers, they're going to make it 4 in a row and keep those playoff hopes alive, James. 20-14. You like that?
You know, Cole, you're my dog, man. Every now and then you are my dog. But you're right. I mean, number one, they are going into Lambeau Field in December to where AR-12 does not lose at home in December. He plays really good football. And it's all about playing the right football at the right time. And you can say whatever you want about the Packers, but they are playing the right football at the right time. Defense getting takeaways, offense making the plays when they are there, when they have to make the plays. AR-12 getting back to being in MVP form. And I'm just not a believer in this Minnesota Vikings team. They have won a lot of really close games this year. Kudos to them. But I don't think they are that good. I think they run into a hot Green Bay Packers team at the crib and walk out of there with an L.
You've been saying that all season long, James. All right, let's roll on to the next game here. We got the 8-7 Dolphins at the 7-8 Patriots. The Dolphins hold the final playoff spot in the AFC. The Patriots are just one game out, so a big one in terms of both teams here. These two teams have combined to lose 8 of 9. Teddy Bridgewater getting the start at quarterback because Tua Tagovailoa is in concussion protocol here for the second time this season. Dave, this news shifted this line to Dolphins now getting 3 points. How are you playing it?
It should, because Tua's 4-0 against the spread in his career against New England. Teddy Bridgewater has never taken a snap against the Patriots. And I think it's going to be a tough spot for him. Remember just a couple of years ago, 2020, without Tom Brady, the Dolphins and the Patriots played. It was an elimination game for the Patriots, and they lost. I don't think Bill Belichick's letting that happen again. He doesn't want to get knocked out of the playoffs again by the Dolphins. I think New England gets the job done.
I don't think there's anything that New England can do, Dave. I mean, we're talking about a bad football
Bridgewater?
team. With a bad quarterback and Mac Jones back there under center just cannot find ways to score points consistently. And then you talk about a Teddy Bridgewater-led Miami Dolphins offense. I don't think we're going to see too much out of them neither. So I don't know what the spread is. I don't know what the under and over is, but this game is going to be 3-2. I don't know who's going to win it, because there's not a lot of firepower, but I'm going to say the Dolphins find a way to win a really close game. They win 3-2 against a tough Patriots defense, but I don't see Mac Jones putting up too many points.
Then we're betting the under, Lisa.
All right. Man, bet that under. Hit it hard. All right, you guys. Let's get to the race for the NFC South title here. The 7-8 Bucks are in first place. Look at Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things, right? They host the 6-9 Panthers, who would move into a first-place tie for the division with a win here against the Bucks. A lot on the line for both teams. Pony, the Bucks are 3-point home favorites in this matchup. Give me your pick.
First time all year, I feel like we've gotten value on the Bucks because most of the time with the odds makers, they've been small lines against really good teams or big lines against bad teams like last week against Arizona, and they couldn't cover. The Panthers secondary is in tatters. J.C. Horn had wrist surgery. James, they're going to have Josh Norman out there. I mean, he used to cover you. This is not a good situation against Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Brady needs to win this game at home. I don't trust Sam Darnold to go in there with playoff hopes on the line. He's going to take down Brady. Sam Darnold, the guy that saw ghosts. This isn't Halloween, James. This is a win and in situation. The Bucks are going to win by more than a field goal.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just got to use your two eyes and you got to open them and you got to put all the accomplishments that happened, in the past and leave them in the past. Tom Brady is terrible right now. The Bucs offense is terrible right now.
Well, we were saying that about Aaron Rodgers earlier in the year, James. Things can change on a dime.
There should be no team in the National Football League with any corner that should be able to stop Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and those boys on the offensive side of the ball. But they have been stopping them all year long. And let's just keep it real. The Carolina Panthers are going to win this game. The Carolina Panthers are playing better football right now. And Coach Wilks, I don't know what the Carolina Panthers is waiting on, but your head coach is right there. It shouldn't be no interviews. It shouldn't be nothing. He hasn't won a game with Baker Mayfield. He's won games with Sam Darnold. He's won a game with P.J. Walker. He's winning games with whoever they put at quarterback. They are finding ways to win, and they're just playing better football than Tampa right now. I think this is going to be a game that they win, and they get in the playoffs, and they beat Tom Brady and them boys in Tampa.
The race to the playoffs in this division is going to be interesting and fun to watch. Great stuff by both of you guys. And now, as promised, we're coming in hot with our best bets here of Week 17. So let's get to it. As usual, our experts are giving them out in the form of a spread, money line, and total bet. Hey, guys, part of our weekly competition here where each of our guys get $100 virtual dollars for those 3 bets. But you got to take a look here, Dave. Another profitable week for you. You hit on 2 of your 3 picks last week. Yup. The Niners giving points, the Panthers. On the money line, you just heard JJ talking about these Panthers. You made more than $50 on your $100 wager. Well done, sir. I tip my cap. All right, let's do it again. Give us your week 17 picks here. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to go with my best bet being the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones, he's 30-22 against the spread in his career. 26 of those, he's been an underdog. He's only covered 4 times as a favorite in his entire career. This is an uncomfortable spot for the Giants laying that many points. Give me the Colts, $55 to make 50 at the +5.5. As far as the money line, I'm taking plus money against Carson Wentz. I think the Browns go in there and take care of business and squash the playoff chances of Washington. And then as far as the total, the Jets with the defensive rookie of the year favorite, Sauce Gardner, and that Jets defense is going to shut down the Seattle Seahawks. That game's going to be a low-scoring win for the Jets. So my remaining $25 is on that under, Pony.
All right, I'm going to start with a line that has moved 5 points, and that's the Raiders now at home against the Niners. They've only lost 1 game this year by double digits. The 49ers are red hot, but really all Josh McDaniels is asking his quarterback to do is spread their ball around to the playmakers there. And Stidham was with McDaniels in New England with Adams and Waller and Jacobs. I think they keep it close like they've done all year. They've found a way to lose games, but lose them by very small margins. So take the Raiders in Vegas. My next pick, Minnesota. All they do is win close games. They're literally the greatest team in the history of the NFL at winning one-possession games. So this is supposed to be close. I got to take them on the money line here, even though the game is at Lambeau Field. And then I'm going over in Houston and Jacksonville. With Davis Mills in, Houston's offense has gotten better. I think Jacksonville will have to score some points late to keep it close. I actually like Houston to upset them, but that total's too low for me. I think both teams come close to 30.
Awesome stuff, you guys. Interesting strategies as well. We see them every single week. We're going to see which one is the best after this week, and we'll air the results on next week's show. Hit up the FanDuel Sportsbook now to place your bets before these games kick off. And coming up next, right here on More Ways to Win, Moneyline Moneymaker picks. And one of our experts is so hot right now with his upset picks. Take a look.
The Jacksonville Jaguars upset the sleepy Dallas Cowboys.
I'm going with my Green Bay Packers to go into Miami and upset Tua and the Dolphins.
I see you, James, hitting that upset pick 2 weeks in a row, getting that plus money. Stick around to see which team James is high on for Week 17. His pick coming up next.
And welcome back to More Ways to Win as we're discussing week number 17 here. A lot of playoffs hopes on the line, including the Ravens and the Steelers, game that could mean a lot for the division and, of course, for the wild card seeding as well. The Steelers are still alive. And, Lisa, maybe we can do some quick market picks here.
Yeah, let's get right to it, you guys. Want to get right to our upset alerts? All right, let's go to our upset alerts. Thanks for covering me there. Had some technical difficulties right on my side. But hey, it's Moneyline Moneymaker time, so we're going to get right to it. Upset alerts. And before we get to James and Cole's picks, how about a shout out for James? He's nailed 2 picks in a row, including picking the Packers to win in Miami last week. James, that's right. You're going to get to your pick in just a second. But Cole, you're going to start us off here. So let's hear your upset pick for Week 17. What you got?
Okay, Lisa, there's been a whole bunch of defending Super Bowl champions, and of all of them, the Los Angeles Rams, they're the worst. But one thing they do have in their favor is that SoFi Stadium, it is their house and their house alone, because there's a chant that revolves around that. Just go to a game and listen. Whose house? Rams' house. Now, when you're at home, what do? You want to relax, and that's what the Rams and Baker Mayfield are going to be able to do. Now, since the 2 teams made the move from St. Louis and San Diego, respectively, just one head-to-head matchup, and that was a 12-point Rams victory back in 2018. And get a load of this. The Rams, even though wins have come few and far between, they only have 5 of them, and 4 of those, they've come at the house. Sounds like a perfect time for them to pull off another win right off the 405. Rams get a close W, 30-28 game.
All right, yes, we're using our BETMOJIS to respond. So, guys, yes?
Yeah,
don't do that, James. Don't do that, James. Don't play yourself, James.
The Chargers
Don't do
are already in the playoffs. Chargers locked it up last week. They're playing for seeding still, but I think they might let down just a little bit.
Cole, I know I got to do my upset pick,
James.
but you're telling me that you believe in Baker Mayfield?
I do.
And you can say that with a straight face?
I did.
All right. Well, I guess Cole is feeling like I'm feeling because right now, it's heat check time for me. So I'm about to pull this thing like Steph Curry right when I cross over half court. And I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders without Derek Carr to beat the San Francisco 49ers at the crib. My heart is crushed. My brother is not going to be under center. But I'm still going to go with my dogs from Las Vegas, Devontae Adams. They get the big upset this week at the crib.
You'll never win one of these making picks like that, James.
Okay. And it is. All right.
How do we go against James right now? You can't pick against James.
You know what I'm saying?
Cole is I am.
Picking against
Joe
James.
don't want to be right.
All right. Well,
Terrible.
awesome stuff by you guys. If you agree with Cole or if you agree with James or you just want to do you, hey, you do you. It's all good. Hop on the FanDuel Sportsbook app now and get that plus money before kickoffs this weekend. All right, great stuff, our guys. Let's truck on here. In addition to betting on these games, you can also win part of a $10,000 prize pool just by answering a few questions about these games this week. And it is free to enter. Thank you, GMC. Check it out. It's the GMC Sierra Mountain Climber Pick'em Contest. To enter, just log on to fanduel.com/free/contest/GMC Mountain Climber and answer questions about the matchups before the early games kick off on Sunday. The more you get right, the higher you move up the mountain. Fans who get every answer right will reach the summit and win a share of the $10,000 prize paid in site credit. So get on it. Eyes on the prize, team. Make sure to enter the free GMC Sierra Mountain Climber Pick'em Contest. It is going on right now, and be sure to enter before kickoffs. And as always, have fun and good luck. And you know this by now, but FanDuel offers a bunch of DFS contests where you can win thousands of dollars by starting the right players. So right now, we're bringing you ringers that are well worth their price tag. We do this every single week. Got to get Jim Sonis back in here. He's here with the good stuff. Jim, who's on your can't miss list here in week 17?
Thanks, Lisa. For the most part in Week 17, we probably want our players to be playing in high motivation spots where they've got a lot in the line. And we're going to begin the stud section off with a guy whose team was eliminated long ago, but I do still like his upside. That guy is Justin Fields coming in at $8,400. Fields has at least some motivation on his side because he wants to break the rushing quarterback record for most yardage in a year. Fields can still do that, and he's run 7 and 15 times across his past 2 games. This game is indoors, facing off with the Lions. Saw that defense struggle a lot this past week, so Justin Fields, I think, is back on the menu at $8,400. I also like A.J. Brown at the exact same salary. Brown likely playing with Gardner Minshew for the second consecutive week, but we saw Minshew support a big game from Devontae Smith this past week, and Brown was good as well. He had 8 targets for 100 yards in that game. $8,400 very fair. Facing off with the Saints here, and the Eagles need a win to clinch the NFC East and a first-round bye. Finally, we'll round things out with Christian McCaffrey at $9,500. He did underwhelm this past week, but that was in a very tough spot against the Commanders. Now facing off with the Raiders, a team that seems to be folding up for this year. McCaffrey's at 128.8 yards in scrimmage per game in the full games he has played without Eli Mitchell on the 49ers. So the 49ers can still get that first-round bye depending on how things shake out with the Eagles. So plenty to play for here with them as well. So Christian McCaffrey at 95, Lisa, I think we can feel good about him despite the dud he put forth last week.
Yes, set your lineups out, FanDuel.com. Follow Jim on Twitter at Jim Sonis as well. And another reminder to check out his daily Covering the Spread podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks a lot, Jim. All right, moving on. Coming up, the Bills are the Super Bowl favorite, but which team is the best value bet on the board right now? We're bringing that to you. Our experts reveal their picks next. You're watching More Ways to Win. Stay with us. Hey, everybody, bringing you back with great news here. America's #1 sportsbook just got even better. Now you can bet on horse racing directly in the FanDuel Sportsbook app. We are so thrilled to bring this to you. Not only can you place bets on live horse racing, but you can also watch horse races live right from the app. And there's a new race starting just about every 5 minutes. So check out the FanDuel Sportsbook app for nonstop racing, free picks, and easy tutorials to help you learn about the wonderful sport of horse racing. So have fun taking in the races and betting the ponies directly in the FanDuel Sportsbook app, and learn more at FanDuel.com/horse racing. And just a couple of minutes left in this show, so we're going to get everybody in here to get your Super Bowl picks. We are inching closer to February. The Bills still the betting favorite. Dave, is that where you're putting your money here for the Super Bowl winner?
Nope, I'm not going to go with the shortest price. I'm going with the biggest price that we see there on the page. Look, Keenan Allen has missed 7 games this year. Mike Williams has missed 4. 11 games from these 2 wide receivers. When they're both healthy, this team could match points with anybody in the league, and I'm getting 28-1. Yes, the Chargers.
My
James, how you
goodness, you feeling good, huh, Dave? You
Yeah,
feeling
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Dave?
I'm taking a healthy Lamar Jackson. I've been on Lamar
Is he
Jackson
healthy?
train, even though he's been hurt. A healthy Lamar Jackson. I don't think any of these teams that's in the AFC up here want to see the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson.
Lisa,
All right.
I want to make you smile.
Cool,
To end
quick
the show.
pick. Who you
Let's
got,
just go
Chiefs?
kick Kansas City. Wow, there you go.
All right. KC for the big win. I love it. That's a wrap. Week 17 is here. Good luck with your bets. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you right back here next week.